Toucan Play That Game is proudly sponsored by NiceGameShop.com, the place to go for rare and unusual Asian games. Hi, I'm Michael. Take a seat and I'll tell you about Quantum by FunForge, a game of battling factions who are engaging in interstellar combat in order to dominate the galaxy. But it's a bit different because for some reason your ships are dice, and then the value on those dice dictates two things. Firstly, your combat strength, and secondly, your movement. Now, I actually really enjoy this mechanic. I think it works fantastically well, because what it means is you have to choose between having a ship that is slow and powerful, or fast but weak in battle, which works very well for kind of deciding, do you rush into these planets and try and dominate them through friendly means, kind of take over these planets, or do you kind of plod along and try and exterminate your opposition? What this game actually comes down to is kind of a combination of ideas that works marvellously. You have almost an abstract game with kind of the moving of your dice around, but with the randomness of combat, you have kind of a war game feel, which is actually made even more so because of the special powers of the different dice values. And then all with kind of a thin veneer of sci-fi theme on, because unfortunately that's what happens when your ship are dice. It becomes more, that's my number 3, that's my number 2, that's my number 1, rather than here comes my battle station, here comes my scout. You know, the ship being dice, you lose that kind of thematic feel. But otherwise, I think it's really nice. I think the kind of sci-fi effect on the components is very nice, on the art, kind of helps bring you back into the theme. But what really helps the theme is the advanced cards, because you have these gambit cards that are one use and they just go away, but then you also have these command cards that give you kind of a personality to your race and asymmetry to the play as you pick these up, and you gain new unique special abilities that no one else has. But it's another area that randomness gets introduced to this game, because you have randomness in combat. Whenever you have combat, you add up your ship's value with a random dice roll, and whoever has the lowest value wins. So that's randomness. But then you also have randomness in these cards, because you might be the first one to go and you get a card, and then a better card comes out that you would have rather had, and someone else then gets that. So that's an element of randomness too. But that randomness in this game is so balanced by your choices with regards, you've got 3 actions a turn, so how you choose to use those and the order you choose to use them in can make a big difference, especially when you've then also got each of your dice having a ship's power that you can use. You've got to think about how you're choosing to use these. For example, you've got your number 3 that can warp and swap places. So use this to kind of get along further as far as you can. And then you swap with a 1 to engage in combat. And there's a lot of this kind of chain reaction of abilities and the order you use them that makes this feel incredibly strategic. And the fact that you can mitigate the luck and randomness of these dice rolls with some of these cards, but also with, I choose to throw a 1 against you, or I go suicidal and attack your battle station with my scout that is a 6, and I literally cannot win. You could do that. It would be suicide, but you could do that. And then you've got other strategies towards winning. So this game is a race. It doesn't feel like a race game. It doesn't play like a race game, but it is a race. You're just trying to get rid of your cubes the fastest and most efficient. So being efficient with your actions, being efficient with having the right dice and getting them to planets first to put cubes down is one way to go about it. But you can also attack, and attack is incredibly powerful. If you're knocking out your opponent all the time, they just can't really go anywhere. But then you fight back. This is a game that rewards aggressive play. There is that, but certain maps work better for it than other maps. And so you've just got to accept that it is part of the game. If you don't want that kind of direct head-to-head conflict, you're not going to enjoy this. But you can choose to play it and not really engage in that. You can choose to go, I just rush and do the planets and kind of work to avoid your attacking me. Because if someone's going heavy in attack, they're going to have low numbers. They haven't got much mobility. And so you can take advantage of that. There's also then you can use research in order to get extra cards, in order to beef yourself up quicker. And the reason combat is such a viable option to victory is it's not only it cripples your opponent, but it increases your dominance. And dominance is another way to play the cubes down, which is the race aspect. Overall, I love this game. I love the mix of the strategy and the random elements, just give it so much replay value. Even if you just played this basic map all the time, it's going to play out differently. Firstly, you're going to end up with different numbers on your ships, so you're going to have different options with regards to what you can do. You're then also going to have different advanced cards coming out. You're going to have different results on your battle dice. But even then on top of that, because this is a modular adjustable board and it comes with a sheet of lots of different ones to try for different player numbers, there is a huge amount of replay value here. So talking about those different maps and the replay value that gives, I mentioned different maps for different player numbers, and that is how this game scales. It will play and feel very different at the different play numbers, don't get me wrong, and it can go a bit long sometimes at the higher play numbers when it just becomes I hit you, you hit me, and no one's really progressing. There's also another issue once you go above 2 players, and that is people can pick on someone. Now, it doesn't make sense to do this, but it can happen. So it's something to be aware of. If you've got someone who is just a bit of an arse, don't play this game with them. So yeah, it scales well. I like this sci-fi theme. I know it's not heavy, I know it's not really engaged there, but that feels like it works with this game. The dice are nice, the components nice, artwork nice, everything is nice about this game, and so I just absolutely love Quantum. It's a game for people who want a war game that plays quickly, is simple and easy to learn, simple and easy to play, but doesn't require you purely to be eliminating your opponent. It's all about that race towards goals, and not just beating up on your opponent for the sake of beating up on your opponent, but doing what will get you to that goal, end goal, and winning the game the quickest and most efficiently. So that is my thoughts on Quantum by FunForge. I hope you've enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you have, do like and share and subscribe, and also check out the rest of the videos on the channel. And as always, thanks for watching, and bye for now.